Hi there, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and the trade deadline has come and gone there, and thanks to all those who have so far have watched my video on what the Calgary Flames did at this past trade deadline for the 2019-20 season there. So you can see that video there, but I've decided that it's actually fun to make these videos, both in a good and a bad way, looking back at any trade retrospects that I have done in the past already here, and I try to release them around the same time that when the trade happened so many years ago. But I figured for March here, as you remember, the trade deadline actually used to be later in the season there, as usually it came with about, let's say, 10 to 12 games left to go in the regular season. I believe it was exactly 40 days before the end of the regular season, give or take. But I remember that the trade deadline happened closer towards the end of the season there, and I felt that I actually like it where it is now, because it gives more time for potentially the new player to fit in with said team there. But for March here, I do actually have a few more trade retrospects that I plan to do here, as there was definitely some interesting trades to look back on that the Flames made at said trade deadline in the past there. And actually what I plan to do here is there's one trade that I'm going to talk about when it gets closer to the date here, that we definitely lost this trade. However, I'm going to put myself to task to defend this trade as it happened in the late 1980s there, and I'm going to try to defend this trade. So you might have an idea who that player is. Another trade that I'm going to look back on is a time when we traded away an enforcer. I almost have to look back on that trade there, is that we definitely lost the fight in trading away one of the best enforcers that the Calgary Flames have had at all time there. Just, when many trades that happen at the trade deadline, our draft picks that are involved there, let's just say we definitely lost this particular trade when we traded away an enforcer, that we could have used that player that ultimately was drafted with. So you can take a look at that trade, and of course, there's no secret towards the end of March here, I am going to make 2 trade retrospects, maybe 3 as I'll say, when we traded away Jarome Iginla and Bouwmeester there. And I mean, obviously, best wishes to Bouwmeester, as the fact that unfortunately he had his collapse there, and I understand he's doing well now, but who knows if he's ever going to play in the NHL there. But I'll actually be talking about Bouwmeester in the time when we traded him away, and looking back at that trade. And actually, the case for Jarome Iginla, I'm going to make 2 trade retrospects with Jarome Iginla. Not because of how massive the trade, in terms of trading away the greatest Calgary Flame of all time here, but the fact that there was a trade that actually happened, and then there was a trade that was reported to be in place, but at the time Jarome Iginla decided he wanted to go to where he got traded to. And I found an interesting article, and if it's still available, I'll put that in that video there. But I'll throw this question out to you. Which trade would have been better, the one that we actually traded away Jarome Iginla for, or the trade that was in place there? That's going to be a good question here, because when we take a look at those trades, I don't know if it definitely warranted the full value for trading away the greatest Calgary Flame of all time there. I mean, it was towards the end of his career there, but he still had a few good seasons left. Although fatally, he ultimately retired as a Calgary Flame, and now has his number retired, and we're just waiting for the call for him to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame there. So that's what I have planned to do, as well as in addition to my other regular game recaps and that. And now that the trade deadline has come and gone, and we're in the off season for CFL still, I don't anticipate any more major stories, you never know, that I'll come back with. And then of course the Calgary Hitmen have clinched the playoff spot, so there'll at least be, a couple more episodes with my Calgary Hitmen in the WHL playoffs there. So that's what I plan to release here. So look forward to, I'm going to say 5 videos for trade retrospects. One trade I'm going to defend. I'll put myself to task and defend this trade. The other time when we traded away one of the best enforcers that the Flames have had of all time there, behind Tim Hunter. And then I'm going to talk about the Jarome Iginla ×2 trade retrospect, and the time when we traded away Jay Bouwmeester. The time when Jay traded away Jay and Jay traded away Jarome. Just lots of J's there. But maybe you should throw a J grade for what we got in return for those trades there when the trade retrospect happens there. So anyways, if you obviously want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders there, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and follow along with that bell icon there. I also do personal vlogs, attempt to comedy, and also share my experiences. Let's say I'm at a sporting event, or when I'm on the road, when I'm on holidays there. And I also have my social media links in the description below there to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey there. So as I say, go Flames go, and be looking forward to making those trade retrospect videos there, and we'll see what could have been done differently, as a lot of these trade retrospects that I have coming up here, I think we might regret making some of those trades. Not to meant to throw too much out there, but as I say, I'll see you in the next video there, whatever you like to watch on my YouTube channel.